Hi, welcome back to Escape Jake. Thanks for being here. So, I fell in love with a rock. And you don't understand, this is the greatest love story you will possibly consume because a story between a human and a woman, like, where's the drama in that? Titanic? Bleh! Romeo, Juliet? Bleh! Me falling in love with a rock? Now that's interesting. So, this was a couple years ago. I was 17 years old. I was a young man in the world, and the only thing that I wanted, was it a college education? Was it money? Was it fame? Was it becoming Jeff Bezos' adopted son? No, it wasn't any of those. It was me. It was that I had no bitches. I had no bitches at all. I had no bitches here. I had no bitches there. I had no bitches anywhere. And all I would do is I would wake up in the night and I would cry and I would think, I have so much love to give. Why does nobody want to give me the time of day? So you know what I did? I looked. I hit on all sorts of women. I dated them. I found them. I wooed them. I asked them to be with me, but none of it felt right. You know, they were all just kind of saying, hey, like, you're weird. You're too intense. It's like, what's going on here? And I never felt the connection. Never felt the connection worthy of the love that I knew I was capable of giving. So what did I do? I kept looking because when there's hardship in life, you don't understand. When there's hardship, you can't give up. You can't stop. You have to keep going. So I don't love any of these women. I go for a walk on a beach and I look out at the ocean, so mysterious, and I say, Mr. Ocean, why do I have no bitches? Why could I have no bitches? What is the reason? Is it the fact that I'm a 17-year-old high school dropout with no prospects and no future? And so no bitch would come in within close to me, and the God said no. And I tripped over something. And it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It was a rock, so curvaceous, so luscious, spiky on one end, curvaceous on the other. The type of rock you only see once in a lifetime. And I had just tripped over it. Or should I say, her. As soon as I made eye contact with the rock, I knew things were different. I knew things were going to get hot and heavy between me and the rock. That's right. I looked into the rock's eyes and I made out with the rock. And that night, the rock and I spent together on the beach, late into the night. I showed the rock things that I had never shown any other woman in my life, and I don't plan on showing any other woman in the future. You think that relations between a man and a woman are special? Have you ever heard of relations between a man and a rock? Much better. We had rock sex. Do you understand? We had rock sex. And what happened afterwards as the sun was rising and I was sitting with her and I said, rock? And the rock said, and I said, I'm serious about you. I want to marry you. And the rock said, and I said, don't say anything if you mean yes. And the rock said, and that's when I knew we were in love. Finally, the dream wedding of my dreams, the love that I had been craving was finally coming true. I gathered my family and friends and we went to marry on the beach. And my mother looked at my rock side and said, who is this? And I said, you don't understand our love. And she said, that's a rock, Jake. You can't marry a rock. And I said, don't racially discriminate against my wife. And she was upset. But I didn't let that stop me. The pastor said no. The rabbi said no. Everyone said no to marrying me and my rock bride. But then a homeless man I found on the side of the road agreed to marry us. So, finally, I looked into the rock's eyes, and the homeless man said, "Do you accept this rock to be your lovely wedded wife?" And I looked in her and I thought of all the loneliness I had felt, all the love I had wanted. And I laughed and I said, "Yes." And the homeless guy said, "Do you accept this human as your lovely wedded husband?" And the rock said, and I kind of whispered over to I said, "Don't say anything." And the homeless guy said, Okay. "Don't say anything if you don't object to marrying this man." And the rock said, so we were married. I kissed the rock and I knew everything was fine, but then the homeless man said, "Wait a second." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Don't say anything if you want to divorce this man." And the rock said, and I was looking at my bride, I was looking at my love, and all of my nightmares were coming true. I got rock divorced. The rock took 50% of my income. I had nothing, and the rock took 50% of that. I was left a homeless wretch, just like my pastor. My family and friends abandoned me into a mental institution. And the worst thing of all, I thought about the story that I had been telling myself about how I was empty without love. And I realized I was complete all along. I didn't need a rock wife or rock sex or rock divorce to feel whole in myself. No. I needed to love myself first. Okay, like, subscribe. Here's another video. Bye.